Isn't it important to show confidence, engagement, eloquence, and passion while speaking in public? Definitely. Hello, this is Sana Lamtara. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today's video is about public speaking and effective communication skill. Well, we can say that public speaking is a personal development journey in which we can learn to analyze a topic, think logically, frame meaningful sentences, and build self-confidence. And this leads to the improvement of communication skills because preparing a speech forces speakers to take a step back and think critically about effective ways to communicate, like active listening, adaptability, clarity, confidence, assertiveness, giving and receiving feedback, managing emotions, and interpersonal skills. At a personal level, public speaking is something that you will likely encounter at some point in your life, even if you have never spoken in public before. So you may be asked to give a speech at a social event, for example, and this facilitates social connection to meet new people and share interests. More than this, you also learn how to persuade people, unite them under a common cause, and why not, motivate them to take action. As for professional development, public speaking is a good indicator of valuable professional skills, and this leads to career growth. Public speaking is key to the advertisement of your personal brand and then new career opportunities. Public speaking is also a great way to professional networking, as you can make yourself memorable. Let's agree that professional image is composed of verbal and non-verbal messages, what you say, how you sound, your voice, your speaking style, and also how you behave, body language. So your, or maybe my, our speaking style should represent an executive presence, and your voice, quality, pitch, loudness, intonation should enhance that image. In a nutshell, candidates with strong public speaking skills are in demand for the many occupations that require the ability to speak to a group. So, dynamic and well-prepared speakers are highly valued by employers, and having this skill set can help you land your leadership positions and important roles. Dear colleagues, dear 21st century educators, I would like to invite you all to train your students, your trainees, your participants in general in public speaking skills to help them develop both personally and professionally. Personally, I believe that public speaking activities should be maintained throughout the whole academic year on a regular basis because skills needed to improve public speaking require long-term practice. Besides, public speaking activities create a lively learning environment which is full of joy, excitement, sharing, exchange, and caring. Therefore, I suggest you schedule public speaking activities once a week, every fortnight, or even once a month. All depends on your priorities, time, needs, and objectives. Before that, you probably need to devote, let's say, 30 minutes of one of your sessions to the preparation of student speeches and give a number of instructions. And now, let me share a number of instructions with you. 1. In turns, students are required to prepare 2 to 3 minute speeches about a topic of their choice, the theme of the unit, for example, or it can be even a reflection related to a reading passage. 2. Speeches are to be handed in to the teacher for feedback, for correction of some grammatical, spelling mistakes, structure, etc. at least 3 days before delivery. And of course, this is not going to be time-consuming neither for teachers nor for students. And for you, dear colleagues, if you decide to do it every week with 2 or 3 students, it's not going to be that much. Number 3, agree with students on a schedule, on a fixed schedule, and don't forget, of course, to be flexible in terms of the order of themes and in terms of who wants to go first, etc. 4, encourage a culture of sharing, feedback exchange, and you can even encourage students to write their feedback on a piece of paper with or without their names to give to the public speaker at the end of the session. For instruction number 5, you can share a number of tips with your students on how to prepare effective public speech. And now let's talk about these tips. Let's start with the introduction. Well, encourage your students to start with a story, quotation, or even an activity through which they can attract the audience and involve them in the topic. At the same time, this is going to inform the audience of the purpose of the speech. For the body, the most important thing is structure. So in order to help your audience follow the set of ideas needed, you need to arrange your ideas logically, maybe in their order of importance, or maybe from complex ideas to simple ones. And for this purpose, encourage students to use linking words and sequence words. And you can even push your students towards further analysis of their ideas. And here, this is a good opportunity for you to encourage critical thinking. And you can also encourage students to use visuals to facilitate the understanding of ideas. So the last part of the speech is the conclusion, and here you can ask your students to provide a wrap-up, ask a question, and thank participants. The following tip has to do with practice. I guess we all agree that the secret to good delivery is practice. So the more you practice, the more you gain confidence. Practice makes perfect. Body language, well, tell your students that their facial expressions and gestures should match their verbal expression or their verbal communication to make their speeches more attractive and more understandable to the audience. Eye contact is also important to involve the audience and strengthen your confidence. The next tip is about gap fillers, so avoid the excessive use of gap fillers. Words like kind of, you know, so, etc. So when you use these for 3-4 times maximum, it's okay. But when you utter these words after or before each single sentence, then your speech becomes boring. So there are so many tips you can use. I provided you with a number of links to worksheets you can download in the description box below. So you can use one of them, or you can gather tips from different worksheets to make your own. So it's very important to stick to the same tips you introduce your students to, so that you all the time agree on the same criteria while evaluating. I personally consider the worksheet as a contract between the teacher and students. So that's it for today. Thank you very much for watching. And remember, serving you is my job. And it's also my great pleasure, so stay tuned.